Took a little time off, observing. I am not going to dabble in politics, but I will stick my toe in the water. Although I am qualified to do more than stick my toe in the water. Okay? Read my lips. The news agencies do not declare who's president. Not that it matters who's president anyway. Okay? I mean, it's just, it's just the puppet head leader of the corporation, and you are the property. Another video. Been there, done that. Okay, so all you people who have said, well, where you guys at? You were talking about 5G and now you're not talking about it no more. You're talking about adrenochrome and now you're not talking about it no more. You were talking about, you know, you know, COVID. Now you're not talking about it no more. You're talking about missing children. Now you're not talking about it no more. It's not that we're not talking about it anymore. We're on the record. We don't have to talk about it anymore. Your microwave. Okay. Does that machine utilize radiation? Does it irradiate your food? Yes or no? Your cell phone. When you put a radiation detector next to it, does it go off? Yes or no? First generation, two, three, four, five. Are the radiation levels getting weaker or stronger? Yes or no? I mean, these are simple questions a 5-year-old can ask. Yes or no? So once we ask those questions and we put that information out there, we don't have to beat the daggone horse. Are we saying we're right about everything? No, we're not saying we're right about everything. There are things that I've said that turn out to be wrong. I don't have a problem. That's how you search for knowledge. You actually have to search. You have to have a hypothesis and you got to go out and you got to test it. You know? And you got to go do your observations and you know, collect your data, etc. You do that. Right? This data is just becoming easy to collect, and due to the fact that you know we've gone through this censorship with your social media platforms. A lot of times we play stuff on Facebook, and Facebook would just flag it and say, "This is not true," so nobody can read it. They get to decide what's true and what's not true. What's the fight with that? And if you see something or you've come across something that's interesting and you didn't share it with 5 people, that's on you. You know, me in particular, don't do this for likes or views or anything like that. Just sort of have to. You just have to put yourself out there, and take a stand on it. Okay. We told you what viruses are and are not. Shh. Silence. Not all of you. Some of y'all hit me up in a DM and was like, I had never heard that before. Wow. I acknowledge you. Hi Evelyn, I see you. I acknowledge you. But listen, I think some of y'all are supposed to get caught up in whatever you're supposed to be caught up in. I'm watching well earlier it was live footage of tsunami. And people are standing out there on the edge recording it, right? In the age of information that clearly you've been able to learn or ascertain the knowledge at this point that if you are standing and you see water receding at a great length, that is a sign to get to higher ground. There's people standing there recording it with their cell phones. And a couple minutes later they swimming. Some of y'all supposed to be swimming, I guess. Some of y'all supposed to be caught up in there. Some of y'all see the signs for flu shots and you're back in line to get the daggone flu shots and stuff. Why should we keep beating at that horse? We put it out there. You look at it. You share it if it's important to you. If it's not important to you, don't share it. That's that. Not just me. It's a bunch of us out there. No, we don't get it all right. We hadn't been wrong about a whole lot. Okay. All right. So for me, it didn't matter who won the presidency. I could tell you this: if you think for 1 minute that Joe Biden got 9 million more votes than Obama, and you all, I tell me the drug that you're smoking, so I could be sure to stay clear of that drug. It's the only drug I do, and this is on his last days. I'm about done with these damn cigarettes. Tell me the drug that you're taking if you believe that Joe Biden got 9 million more votes than Obama. Okay? Listen, when some of you idiots, and I think that's part of the reason why this is hypothesis now. That the mail-in ballots, had a play in the debauchery of the fraud that's evident throughout this whole process. Some of you assholes were dumb enough to record yourself going through people's ballots and tearing up the candidate that you didn't like, and then posting it on your Instagram. You're like, oh, but then you delete it off your Instagram like somebody didn't already look at it, copy it, and share it on YouTube and stuff like that. The stuff's being shared, man. I'm just telling you. Okay, so if you one of those that wanted to be seen, you flamboyant and you want to be seen doing what you think is your part in the fight against um the orange Flintstone vitamin. Okay, all you did was allow the world to see firsthand you participating in voter fraud. Okay, there was a lot of voter fraud, particularly in five Pacific states, and in those states, lawsuits have already been filed. So be prepared for what comes out as a result of that. Okay, creepy Mo is not the president. Okay, the news channels, the news organizations don't certify elections. They don't. Show me where they do. They don't. You got an election board for that. They don't do that. News medias don't certify elections. Okay, they can say who's president all day long. That's not who's president. It's just not. And you better hope that creepy Mo is not president. Okay, because face mask is not going away, and those vaccines is coming. You know, all of a sudden, now that the election's over, yes. COVID what? COVID who? Y'all are insane. Not all of you. Y'all are insane. And some of us are getting bored. Repeating ourselves. Now, there are some of us who have screamed so loud about the things that we talk about that YouTube's kicked us off the platform. I, Me personally, I'm not getting a lot of views. I think that's the only reason why I'm still on the platform. And I'm not really screaming loud. And, I don't. I say enough things direct for you to get it if you're supposed to get it. You know. So I'm not calling a whole lot of names and stuff. Staying away from a lot of the trigger words that initiate these flags and negative notifications in my goddamn email. Right? Try to keep the profanity down. I try to keep certain names off the videos, but still allow you to understand what I'm talking about. It no Savage from Chicago, the Savage from Chicago. He calls himself Savage. No, we didn't go away and just stop talking about 5G. We know 5G is a problem. We know Wuhan's a problem. And we know Wuhan's a problem not because of, COVID solamente only, not because of COVID only. More importantly, adrenochrome. And we've talked about it. Others have talked about it. Many others have talked about it. Many others have talked about 5G. Many others have talked about adrenochrome. Many others have talked about Pizzagate. Many others have talked about, SARS and all the other all the other crap that's going to voter fraud. We don't need to talk about it every day. We just don't. We put it out there, and we put it out there not for you to take our word for it, to give you enough so that you can look it up on your own if you're interested in it. If you believe that Creepy Mo got 9 million more votes than Obama, that's Obama's and Michelle. That's another video. I'll really offend the savage from Chicago if I go into Michelle and Barack. I, some things you're just not ready for at this point. You're not ready for that red pill. You're not ready for a lot of the red pills. And I get it. You want the world to be as you were programmed to believe it is. And that allows you to get through your day. Maybe doesn't change the fact that that's not true. Uh, I think that's all I wanted to say about that. It's not that we have, stopped talking about, 5G, et cetera, and all that other stuff. We're beating a dead horse. We know that. Once we identified 5G, and once we identified going back to World War II, and once we went into, the signals for radar and that new technology and the effects that it had on humans on the cellular level, in combination with the vaccines that were given out during that time period. And we broke all that down. It's in my histories. Check out my virus discussions. We broke down what a virus actually is. See, the problem is your premise is wrong. You don't understand what a virus is. You don't. And so when I use the word virus, because you're operating from a false premise, like the majority of the Americans who've been programmed in this country, you're automatically not going to comprehend what it is that I'm saying. And you speak so eloquently and so passionately, Mr. Savage, that you really believe the stuff that you talk about. And you believe that you are, banging on Babylon when you're just as programmed as anybody else. Okay? What about me and my program? Yeah, I'm identifying programs that still exist all the time that I got to on purge and reroute and rewire all the time. Nobody's immune from the programming that we've experienced our whole life in this business corporate entity that's not a country, not a republic anymore. You kidding me? It's not. So miss me with the C word stuff. If it's something important we need to speak on, we'll speak on it. Maybe at this point. Remember, we gotta walk around you sheeple during the day. We see y'all driving in your cars by yourself, solamente, masked up, like your skin is not the largest organ on your body, and anything you put on your skin gets into your bloodstream. Anything. Okay, so you wearing a mask like that in itself will protect you from anything. But when you don't know what a virus is and you don't know the purpose of viruses or the purpose of colds, I get it. I get it. It leads to the behavior that we see you do as you go in and out of the stores. It leads to the conversations I listen to and respectfully listen to, but don't respond because that's not my platform. I get on my platform when I'm ready for it and speak on it. And that's just respect. That's some man shit, And like I am not against anybody, but I am searching, like many people, for truth and various levels of truth and various levels of information. That's the best we can do in the age of disinformation. That's the best we can do. So if you expecting people to be perfect, nah, we're not gonna be perfect. But my gosh, like I said, when you don't, you got some of these words you got to say slow. Some of these words you actually have to look up. And some of them you have to look up the history of the word. Okay, and you got to understand the meanings of the word before they would change later on. Sometimes you got to go to older dictionaries to understand what's actually being said. Okay, thank you for coming. God bless you. Good day.